Hi guys, welcome back. So there we have it. France take it 32-21. Scotland will be gutted. They played some great rugby at times and for big periods, but still lose. Similar to what they did against New Zealand, it feels like. Playing some great rugby, but also self-destructing. France doing enough, getting the win. France and Scotland now both on 2 wins, as are England, and only Ireland are 3 from 3, and they're the only ones who can win the Grand Slam. So anyway, strap in, let's get into this game, because it's pretty bonkers. You couldn't write this stuff. Right from the off, Scotland get into their flow early, and France go bashing away in defence early, making huge tackles on the big wingers, Steyn and Van der Merwe in particular. And France win the penalty for that, and get their first good attack into the 22. And the French attack is fairly simple. It's big boy Bosch stuff, either off 9 or 10. But goodness me, it's effective. And they just keep doing this until Scotland run out of numbers. France have 3 men free on the left, and Intermac doesn't even need to use them. So he goes over, and that just looks so simple. And you're thinking, wow, that is dangerous stuff for Scotland. And when France do this, it just looks so great, and they look like the best around because it looks like they haven't even tried. So that's a try for Intermac, 7-0 already. And I made a note here, France also were trying to be quite clever with their clearance kicks, trying to get them out of play, enough so Scotland, can't get into their fast attacking game. And oh no, Scotland have bashed the launch a couple of times in the kickoffs, but Gilchrist just goes too high. He has time to lower, but he doesn't, and he leads with his shoulder straight into the schnoz of Jelonch. It looks like a red, and after a bit of discussion, it is a red. And that looks like Scotland's game could be over. They're a try down and a man down. Such disappointment. But no, there's another twist, of course. On 8 minutes, Scotland, they're a bit rattled from the red. They need to settle. But an unfortunate boot from the ruck from Steyn just gifts France a surprise turnover. They exploit it nicely, move it wide to the left. Nice 2-on-1, Intermac to Dumortier. Try 12-0. And it just looks even more over here. 12-0 and a man down. So the worst possible scenario for Scotland. They go for a big play really and take off Hamish Watson for the extra big man Johnny Gray. I think that was the right call, it looks like, in the end, as their maul was pretty effective. Then Hawass decides to even it up. Yes, this is the man who famously punched Ritchie straight in the face to get a red against Scotland in the past. And he's had, trouble in the past, trouble with the law. He's a bit of a hothead, and he goes human missile, flying headbutt onto Ben White. Unintentional, but still, that's not the point. Big debate. The ref almost thinks it's not particularly violent, but his assistants correct him. It is obviously a red. Hawass goes off, so now it's 14 versus 14, and we have a game after all. Crazy stuff. I think I was going to mention in later videos how it was nice there weren't many cards in this Six Nations so far, but that's out the window now. The problem is, though, Scotland are 2 tries down. Scotland know this definitely can be done now, and Russell punts a perfect 50-22 for a great maul opportunity. Penalty, 5-metre line-out maul. Good darts from Turner all game. Xander Fakeson spins out, stretches for the line, but just drops it, or it's short, or both. Anyway, it's a knock-on. Scotland could really have done with that try right there. And just to rub it in, absolute killer. Russell loves playing the ball around, zipping it about, but sometimes he does go for far too much as well, and he goes for kind of a miss 1,000 pass for no reason really. Ramos has time to read it, plucks it out of the air nicely, goes the length of the pitch. Goodness me, an absolute self-destruct there. Ramos gets the try, 19-0. So the question I have for you guys is Finn Russell a genius or a liability? That question is a riddle, wrapped in a mystery, inside an enigma. Let me know the answer below. But on 23 minutes, he sways back to genius with a wicked dummy and break. It's on out wide on the right, but a nasty pass high from Ritchie to Van der Merwe kills his chance of finishing it. I think he might have if he'd got a good pass in front of him, and they shunt him into touch to France. It's almost like Finn Russell is playing the game against himself. If he plays great, they win. If he doesn't, if he self-destructs, they lose. I know it's not as simple as that. It just feels like it sometimes. Anyway, a couple of minutes later, Russell still on genius mode and selects a lovely flat pass so late, fizzes it into Hugh Jones on a killer straight line. Those two are absolutely wicked all day with their attack. Try 19-7, that's more like it. I mean, this game is bonkers. It's hurting my head. Who's the better side? I've no idea, but France are up on the scoreboard, so let's just say them for now. Anyway, in 27 minutes, France get back on the charge with those big carries, and they bring in Pinot off the wing to get extra big carriers in. It's not complicated, but it's effective. Intermac has all the time in the world to line up a nice drop goal and shanks it badly. On half an hour, Hugh Jones goes through another great gap, this time to Peluso putting him through. Russell pings the ball deep into the 22. I mean, Scotland are playing the prettier rugby by far, but those individual carriers and big hits from France really do make a difference. But it's an engrossing contest, definitely. And just a bit of a note here, a bit of a joke really, but would 14 versus 14 make for a better game of rugby? I'm just joking, maybe, let me know below. Anyway, it was a great game. On 34 minutes, smart play from France as they've got a good tempting position to carry on running the ball from a penalty, but they take the 3 points, which takes it beyond 2 converted tries. So that was good. 22-7. Scotland finished the half well, but France do enough to disrupt. So 22-7 at half-time. It's looking good for France, but get the defibrillators ready because I'm sure Scotland will come roaring out. And they absolutely do. In fact, they dominate the first half an hour of this second half. Really on top, good speed of attack. Their mauling's looking pretty good as well, winning multiple penalties off the French. For a solid 8 minutes they attack at the beginning of that second half. Hugh Jones once again the scalpel, making the initial slice, and later he hits a really good short line once again to power over. What a game he had. What a start for the second half for Scotland. 22-14, that's what they needed right from the off. And they're just on one of these purple patches. They're all over the opposition, but not quite scoring enough points. Amazing crossfield kick from Russell. Scotland push France right back on their line once again. And finally, Hugh Jones gets a short line wrong and fumbles a pass in a great position. Now, Finn Russell just has to come with a health warning for Scottish fans, and the coach, Gregor Townsend, I don't know if he's cheering Finn Russell along or quietly curled up in a corner, gently rocking. I don't know. Either way, it's great to watch for the neutral. Now, it takes 50 minutes of the second half for France to finally get on one of their powerful drives. Really effective once again. And the winger, Dumortier, all he has to do is dive in the corner on the left. But somehow the cover from Ben White and Hugh Jones rolls him on his back and holds him up. Unbelievable play. Saved a certain try, but France do end up with a penalty. So they go ahead even more, 25-14. But that was just a bit of a respite because Scotland straight back on it for another big period of time. They get an easy 3-point chance, but of course this is Scotland. They turn that down for the scrum, but that swarming French defence does well to hold them up, and Russell kicks dead. He kicks dead a couple of times in good positions later on. And then I did mention that Russell kind of plays the game with himself sometimes, and I think Dempsey maybe takes that to heart and gets confused. And I swear he hands off Schoeman, who's in his way. Kind of sums up this match. Crazy stuff. Anyway, 63 minutes. Great chase work from Stuart Hogg, who races on a kick to catch Ramos deep behind his own line. So that's a 5-metre scrum to Scotland. This is a good phase. Big scrums, really impressive stuff from the Scottish pack. Penalty advantage, another 5-metre scrum, another big shove. And who else but Finn Russell on the left glides between two defenders to dive over. That was a good try. 25-21, and the game really is on now with 50 minutes of the game to go. They've dominated this second half. Then 73 minutes, finally France get another foray into the Scottish 22. I swear it was only 2 real attacks in that second half. Of course, it's simple, it's direct. Not enough deception this time, and Scotland win the penalty, and they look like they've got a chance to attack and maybe take the game. But the substitute hooker Brown is on, and a nasty overthrow allows France to transition quickly wide into an even better position 5 metres out from the line. Jalabert's on for Intermac at fly half. He half slips through, but Scotland are desperately scrambling for their lives. France get a 5-metre penalty right in front of the post. They take the points, which would probably guarantee they don't lose, but the draw's still on. Big call. They go to the corner, just about win a messy line out, but Scotland turn it over with the maul. And Scotland have to really force it now because they know they have to go the length of the pitch with a couple of minutes left. They try and do it. They make a mistake, concede a penalty, tap penalty taken by France, and Ficou does go over to strike the killer blow. 32-21. It sounds like France had a fairly comfortable victory on the scoreboard, but it definitely wasn't like that. Just a crazy story. What a great game. Pure entertainment. Modern era of modern rugby, Northern Hemisphere rugby as well, we are living in. Pop those comments below on the game. What did you make of both sides? To me, Scotland are their best friend and their worst enemy. France, again, look a little one-dimensional, but that one dimension is very powerful. Both sides now can't win the Grand Slam, but both still could win the Six Nations, but they need Ireland to slip up. All those comments below, and I'll catch you next time.